So before the break, we saw how we can get the values from the user and how it can be saved, right? So in active cell dot value, we have the EMP name. Now where should that EMP post come? Next to the name, right? So I don't have to again type it, just copy it from here because the statements are going to remain same. Only the variable name will change. So Control C, Control V. So active cell will be EMP name, active cell offset 0,1 will be without quotes EMP post. If you put the quotes, that means it will be displayed as it is. So if I don't remove the quotes, it will print EMP DEPT in that particular cell instead of the value that is inside. So when you want the variable value, you need to put it without the quotes. I'll save it. Now when I run it, Alt F8, data entries, run. It is asking for the name. And it is asking for the post. Department. And then salary. Now the moment I click on OK, we should print the record in the Excel sheet. Now if I enter one more record, will it come below the first one? Let us see. Alt F8 again, data entries, run. This is the second entry. You see it has come on the next row. Now suppose I want to enter 50 records. Should I run the same macro 50 times? That will be very time consuming, right? So instead of running the same macro 50 times, what we can do is we can run the program in a loop. So loops are mainly used to repeat the same set of instructions again and again. In Visual Basic or VBA, there are mainly 3 types of loops that can be used. So loops are mainly used to repeat a set of instructions again and again. The first one is to some programming statement and loop while condition is true. A slight variation of this do while loop is we can also write do while condition is true then some programming statement and then loop. Now the first one, suppose you want to run the program at least once, then you can use the first one. It will first come into the loop and only in the end check whether the condition is true. If the condition is true, again it will go to this do while statement. In the second case, it will enter into the loop only if the condition is true in the start itself. For example, say I have a value like a equals say 10, and here in the do while, suppose I write do while a equals 10, and the program will enter into this loop only if the value of a is 10. Sometime when the program is running, suppose the value of a becomes 5. If it becomes 5, the condition is not satisfied here, so it will not enter the loop at all. It will enter into the loop only if the value becomes 10. Otherwise, it will just skip the loop. So in our case, we are going to use the first one, do something when the condition is true. Okay. Where should this do while loop come? Should I print the headers again and again? There is no need to print the headers again and again. The headers has to be printed only once, right? So I need to write the do statement once the headers are printed before I get the name from the user. So I'll select write do here, do all these statements and save it, and after saving the record, I'll write loop while some condition is true. Now what should be the condition? Here I will define one variable called as ANS. ANS means answer, and I will get the answer from the user. I'll say ANS input box. Do you want to continue? So what this will do is, once the records are entered and saved, it will ask, do you want to continue? Now I will write that loop while answer equals y or answer equals capital Y. As long as the user enters small y or capital Y, I am telling it to loop. So when it loops, it will loop back to this statement after do. So again, it will ask for the name, post, department, salary. Suppose the user enters any other letter other than small y or a capital Y. Since the condition is not getting satisfied, it will come out of the program. Okay. So I'll just save it. And now again, I'll run it. It is asking for the name. post, department, salary. And I will see that it is asking me, do you want to continue? If I say Y, again it will ask for the name, post, department, salary. And now if I press any letter other than Y, it will come out. So this is the looping statement. I'll copy and paste it in the chat window, then tap Run. Now asking the user, do you want to continue, is one method. Or we can also use something called as the message box. So the same thing, we can ask, do you want to continue, using the message box. Okay, so for that, I'll comment these two statements. Answer equal to input box, do you want to continue? If I don't comment it, then this particular program is going to ask, do you continue, do you want to continue 2 times. Once for getting the value in the input box of answer, and again, if I ask it, do you want to continue in a message box? So 2 times, twice it will ask. So we need to comment one of the options. Here I will write Y message box. Like you have where you can get the input from the user, you also have a message box. Message box can be used to display any value or display a dialog box. This I'll say loop while message box, do you want to continue? Then the moment I give a comma, I'll get a drop down like this. From here, I can select any option that I want. Okay, retry, cancel. So if I scroll down, I'll get one option called as VB yes no. Okay, so this is a dialog box which will have 2 buttons, yes and no. And if I press yes, it is again going to continue. And if I press no, it will come out of the program. So it should continue as long as the value of the return is yes. Now I'll run the same thing. Name. So now you can see it has displayed the question in a dialog box. This is your message box. And if I click on yes, it is again going to continue. And if I click on no, it will come out of the program. So this is just one method getting input from the user. Clear, everyone? Now, last time we had seen how we can assign a shortcut key We also saw how the macro can be assigned to a button. Now it is also possible to create your own tab or assign the macro to the quick access toolbar. Which is the quick access toolbar? You can see on the top there is a floppy symbol, undo option. This is the quick access toolbar. So we can also assign the macros to the quick access toolbar, or we can also create our own tab. You can see that there are many tabs here: review, view, developer tab, help tab. Likewise, we can also create our own tab also. So now what we'll do is we'll create a tab called as Excel4all, and inside that we'll call this data entry program. Okay. So for that, for creating a customized tab, you click on File. You can also do it along with me. Click on File, Options. Come back to the Excel interface. Click on File, Options. Now suppose I want to assign the macro to the quick access toolbar. You have an option called as quick access toolbar here. You select it and then click on the drop down of popular commands and you select the macro and it will be added in the quick access toolbar. But here we want to create our own tab. So you select customize ribbon. When you click on customize ribbon, you will get an interface like this. Now on the right hand side.
Sir, so for in quick access toolbar, I'm not getting macros. In popular,
I think in 2016. Yeah, popular command, right?
Yeah.
If you are getting popular command, that means you are using 2007.
Okay.
See, I'll just give you a very easy method to check whether it's 2007 or 2010 or what. You won't get this file option here. Instead of the file option, what you see is a globe. If you are getting a globe, that means the version is 2007.
Where?
Instead of file,
Yeah.
you'll get a globe.
Okay.
Here, L symbol.
Yeah.
You are getting file, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So if you are getting file, then you should get this customized ribbon also.
Yeah, customized ribbon I'm getting.
But you are not getting this quick access toolbar.
Customized ribbon I'm getting macros, but in quick access toolbar I'm not getting.
Quick access toolbar. Click on the drop down of popular commands. Then you click on macros.
In popular commands only I'm not getting.
No. Click on the drop down of that. You are getting popular commands, right?
Yes.
When you click on the drop down, you should see macros.
Yeah. There I'm getting macros.
Correct. Now this can be saved in the quick access toolbar. Whatever macro you select.
Okay. Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
But here we are not going to save it on the quick access toolbar. We are going to create our own tab. So click on customize ribbon.
Okay.
Now in customize ribbon, on the right hand side, you can decide the location where you want the tab to be created. Suppose I select the home tab. The customers tab that I'm creating will come after the home tab. Suppose I select formulas, it will come after the formulas. So ideally it should be created after the last tab, that is the developer tab. So we'll create a tab after this developer tab. So make sure that developer tab is selected. And in the bottom, you have 3 buttons here: new tab, new group, rename. So click on new tab. When you click on new tab, you will get a new tab, custom, new group, custom that can be renamed. So click on new tab, custom, click on the rename button. And you can rename it as Excel4all. You can give any name. I'm giving the name Excel4all. Then click on OK.
This thing only particular for this Excel or for all?
No, for all the Excel in your system, but the macros will work only in this particular workbook. If you want the macro to work in other workbook also, then this macro workbook should be open. Then it will work.
Oh,
in other
keep,
macro on the other
keep
books,
it open and it
in other book, if you keep this particular workbook open, it will work. Otherwise, it just display the tab. But if you click on that, it will give an error saying that macro is not available.
Okay.
Now we have a tab called as Excel4all. In that, we'll create a group called as forms. So select new group, rename, and you can name it as forms. Okay. Now the macro that we created, that we wrote, data entry, I want to put inside this group, forms group. So with the forms group selected, click on this popular commands, drop down of popular commands, and then select macros. Now we need this data entries, so select it and then click on add. So you'll see that under forms, we are getting a program called as data entries. Now this is the default icon. You can see in front of this data entries, you have a default icon. We can change that. So select that data entries, click on rename, and you'll get a window like this, which will display the icons. You can select any icon from here. Then click on OK. The moment you click on OK, you will see that you can notice that in my Excel screen, next to the developer tab, there is a tab called as Excel4all. Now if I click on that, I'll get one group called as forms, and inside that we have a data entry program. Now if I click on it, it will again ask me for the name. Okay. So we have seen one loop, that is the do while loop. We have two more loops that can be used in Visual Basic. So the third loop is for I equals 1 to 10. 1 to some
Sir,
value.
you have given, sir, you have given example for loop 1 also. Loop 2, what is?
Both are same. Only thing is that in the second loop, second do while, it will enter into the loop only if this condition is true. Suppose I want to run the program at least once without checking the condition, then I can use the first one.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give an example of this also. Okay, when we write a program, then I'll give an example of this also.
Okay.
For I equal to 1 to some value, program statements, and then next I. Whenever you write a if, it has to be ended with the end if. Likewise, whenever you have a do, it has to be ended with a loop. Likewise, when you write a for, it has to be ended with a next. Okay. Now, here while I'm using a do while loop, I'm asking the user, do you want to continue every time? Now, suppose I know that I need to enter 10 records every time, not more than 10 or not less than 10. Every day, I need to enter only 10 records. So that is going to be a constant value. So instead of asking, do you want to continue 10 times, what I can do is I can use the for loop. So what this will do is, the first time the value of I will be 1. So here I will write for I equal to 1 to 10. That means till the time the value of I is between 1 to 10, it will go on continuing. The moment the value becomes 11, it will automatically come out of the loop. So the first time the value of I will be 1, it will do the program. When I say next I, it will automatically increment the value of I to 2. Again 2 is between 1 to 10. So again it will do the process. Next I, value of I becomes 3. Likewise, when the value of I becomes 11, this condition is no longer satisfied. So it will come out of the program. Okay. The fourth one is for each cell in selection. So some program and then next cell. Again, cell is a variable here. Instead of cell, I can also write for each XYZ in selection. Okay, cell is a variable. Now this loop is mainly used where the selection from the user will be different. It is not going to be constant. For example, in this main data sheet, suppose I want to convert some of these values, capital case, or maybe I want to make it bold. So I'm selecting only cells. I might select this many cells and some other time I will select this function is not going to remain constant. Then we can use the third loop for each cell in selection. So whatever is selected, that process will take place. Okay, we'll see each of this in detail now. We'll do the third one for I equal to 1 to value. We'll continue in the same module. Sub int numbers. Now what this program should do is it should print numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, in any blank sheet, when I run the macro, it should print numbers from 1 to 10. What the program should do is it should go to A1, print 1, in the next row 2, then 3, then 4, like that up to 10. Very simple program. So how will you go to A1? You write range A1 dot select. So that is the active cell. Now I want to put some value in the active cell. So what I'll do is I'll write a loop first for I equal to 1 to 10 because I want to print 10 numbers. Next, I. And inside the loop, I'll write active cell dot value equal to I. The first time value of I will be 1. So in the active cell, it will put 1. Then it should print 2. When I say next I, it should print 2. Then 3, 4 up to 10. Okay. I'll just run it step by step. Just watch on the screen first. F8. The cell has gone to A1. 1. When I say next I, the value of I will be incremented to 2. So it has printed 2, 3, 4 up to 10. But it is printing the value, the same cell. But what should happen is it should be printed on the next row. So how will I make the cell go to the next row? Once it has printed the value, I'll just use a offset statement. Active cell dot offset. I want to come one row down. So 1, 0 dot select. Dot select because I want to physically move the cell. Now I'll run it once again. First I'll run it step by step. F8. You can see that it has printed up to 10 numbers. Then it will automatically come out of the loop. Okay, I'll copy and paste it in the chat. Okay. Now, this program is going to print numbers from 1 to 10 every time I run it. Now, suppose I want to print numbers up to 50. Then
range will be 1 to 50.
1 to 50, perfect. But suppose I want to run the program and print different numbers. Suppose I want to get only that many numbers given by the user and print it. Suppose the user says 50, the program should print 50 numbers. Suppose the user says 100, it should print 100 numbers. So I want you to make changes to the program so that it prints only that many numbers given by the user. Okay. Make the changes to the program so that the macro prints that many numbers that is given by the user.
We can put a dialog box and then ask you to put the
Yeah,
numbers there.
Yeah, correct, perfect. I'm defining a variable called as print numbers, and I'm using a input box numbers from the user. So input box, how many numbers? Now whatever is entered by the user will be stored in this variable called as print invoice. And here instead of 1 to 10, it will be what? Print invoice. Print invoice is a variable. Okay. Okay, this might give an error because my subroutine name and the variable name are same. So I will make it PRNOS. Now first, the program will ask how many numbers you want to print. Then it will print that many numbers. I'm directly running it. So how many numbers you want to print? I write 125. It will see that it has printed numbers 1 to 25. 1 to 25. Now the first time I run it, I am giving 125. The second time when I run it, I am giving the value 50. Then what happens? The value from 51 onwards. Will it remain on the screen or will it be erased? It will remain on the screen. It will not automatically be erased. So what will happen is, before I print the new numbers, all the previous values should get erased. So for that, in the start, I will write cells dot clear. This is a very dangerous command, and it will remove all the data in your work. Okay. I'll run the same program again. I'll see that the previous values are getting cleared. So how many numbers? Okay. Now what is remaining is the third loop for each cell in selection. Now, in the main sheet, suppose I want to convert these names into capital case or uppercase. Can it be done? Can I convert all these names into uppercase? Yes, anyone?
Normally in the cell we used to give equal to uppercase.
Correct. But can you use equal to uppercase in B2 itself?
No, we can't.
No, you can't. You need to give that function in a different cell and then
Different
copy
cell.
and paste it.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you try to do it in the same cell, it will give a circular reference error. Okay. This can be overcome by writing a macro. We'll continue in the same module. We'll name our program as sub uppercase. And here we will write for each cell in selection. Again, here the cell is a variable. Instead of cell, you can also write for each ABC, for each XYZ, even that will work. For each cell in selection, dot value equals U case cell dot value. Then if you have a for, you should have a next. U case is a function in Visual Basic which will convert the contents to capitals or uppercase. So what we are telling here is, we are telling Visual Basic that take the value of each cell, convert that into uppercase and save it in the same location. Okay. Now since I have given the statement as for each cell in selection, I need to select the range before I run the macro. So just watch on the screen first. I will select some range here, say B2 to C10. Okay. Then F8. You'll see that Suraj has been converted to capital case. Now the movement will be always from left to right. Now the next word that is going to be capitalized is Saxena. Then Alok. Then Trivedi. Kirtikar. So once the entire selection is completed, it will automatically come out of the loop. U case is a function which will convert the contents to capital case. Likewise, we also have a function called as L case, which will convert the contents to lowercase. So if I want to write a program for lowercase, there is no need to type it out again. I'll just copy and paste it below this one, and then I'll change the name. Can't have two subroutines with the same name. Okay, subroutine name should be always unique. So this program will convert the contents to lowercase. I'll copy and paste it. But you have one more case called as the title case or the proper case. What happens in a proper case is that the first letter will be capitalized and the rest will be lowercase. Now in Visual Basic, you don't have a function called as P case, T case or P case, but there is a function called as proper in Excel. So if I want to convert the contents to proper case, we can also call the Excel function into Visual Basic. For that, the statement will be a little bit different. We need to use a application worksheet statement. So I will name this as proper case, and this statement, instead of use case, I need to write application dot worksheet. The worksheet function statement, you can call any Excel function into basic. Suppose I want to use the VLOOKUP function, I can use this application dot worksheet function dot then cell dot value. So this is what proper case. Okay. So before you run these programs, select a small range in your main data and then run the macro. Once it is running correctly, I want you to create one more group in that tab Excel4all. In the Excel4all tab, I want you to create one more group called as change case, where you need to put all these three macros: uppercase, lowercase, and proper case. Okay, create a new group and save the macros inside it. Done?
Yes.
So how will you create a group? You go to File, Options, yeah, Customize ribbon. Select that Excel4all tab and click on New Group. Okay. Then we'll rename this as Change Case. And with the change case selected, you click on the drop down of popular commands, macros, select lowercase, click on add uppercase, and then proper case. You can also move this order if you want. On the right hand side, you have this button, okay, from where you can move it up or down. Now the moment I click on OK, I will also change the icons. Now you can see we have a new group called as change case, where you can see the macros, lowercase, uppercase, and propercase. Now, if I select a range, I just need to click on this lowercase for converting to lowercase. Next is uppercase, or you have propercase. This much is clear, everyone? Any doubts, any difficulties? Now, select the filter sheet. Last time we had created a sheet called as filters, where we had applied the advanced filters, right? Select it. I want you to write a program which will calculate the HRA, TA, and gross. Okay, I will give the percentages. HRA is 40% of salary. TA will be percent of salary, and gross is going to be, gross will be HRA plus TA plus the basic salary. I want you to write a subroutine, not a function. And when I run that particular macro, it should automatically calculate the HRA, TA, gross for all the employees. You should not calculate like this, equal to H15 into 40%. Okay, not. You should not do the calculation like this. You need to write a macro which will the HRA, TA, gross for all the employees. Now you can do while, or you can also use the for loop. Even the for loop, you can either use for I equal to 1 to 1, or you can also use for each cell insertion. Okay, whichever loop you find it easier, that can be used. I want all of you to try this. I'll give you 15 minutes, 1-5. You try it out. If you want, I can give the logic. Done, anyone? I will do it in a new module. So I'll go to insert module. You can either continue with the same module or do it in a new module also. So I'll rename this module 4 as calculations. And here the subroutine name I will give it as calc. Okay. Now my logic is going to be I can select this particular cell H15, right? That can be selected. When the H15 cell is selected, that becomes the active cell. If H15 is the active cell, then HRA is going to be active cell dot offset 0,1. TA is going to be active cell dot offset 0,2, and gross will be 0,3. So I can calculate the HRA value as active cell dot offset 0,1 dot value equals active cell into 40%. That will give me the HRA value. Likewise, TA will be active cell 0,2 equals active cell into 20%. Okay, then I can add them up and put it in the gross cell. So once I get the correct values for the first record, I can put it in a loop. Okay, so I show both the methods using do while as well as for I. Even for each cell in selection can also be used. So this is method 1. So first I need to select this H15. So I'll write range H15 dot. So that becomes the active cell. And here I will write active cell dot offset 0,1 value equals active cell dot value multiplied by 40%, that is 0.4. So this will calculate the HRA. Same way I can calculate the TA. So now TA will be active cell offset 0,2 and this will be 0.2. In active cell offset 3, you have the gross. So offset 0,3 will be sum of active cell plus active cell offset 0,1 and then again 0,2. you will see that this statement active cell offset 0,3 dot value, it is a very lengthy statement. So if I want to make any changes in the end, I need to scroll to the entire length of the programming statement. Better than that, we can also break a programming statement into multiple lines. So how do you break it? From where you want to break it, keep your cursor there. So in this case, suppose I want to break it from that active cell dot offset 0,1. I'll keep my cursor there, give a space and a underscore. Then press enter. So what this will do is, it will break a lengthy programming statement into multiple lines. When you give a space and underscore, it tells Excel that this is a continuation of the same programming statement. So it will not give any error. Okay. Now, when I run this, it should calculate the HRA, TA and gross for the first employee. So if it is doing the calculations without any error, that means I can put it in a loop afterwards. So I will press F8. Now the cell is, it is in I23. When I press F8, you will see that it has gone to H15. So that is the active cell. Again F8, so it has calculated the HRA, TA and gross. So it has done the calculations correctly. Now I need to put it in a loop. Now you can use any of the loops here. Either you can use for I equal to 1 to 100, because I know that there are 100 records here. Or I can also select this whole range H15 to H114, and I can also use the loop for each cell in selection. Even that will work. Or I can also use do while. I will use a do while method, and then I will use a for I equal to 1 to 100. Both the methods I will show you. Now, when should this loop of do while continue? As long as there is a value in this active cell, the do while should continue. The moment there is a null value or a blank, the do while should stop. Okay. Now the salary H15 is a non-blank cell, so that it should do the calculation. Then it should come one row down. Again check whether this is non-blank. If it is non-blank, then do the calculation. Like that, you should continue till the last cell. After the last cell, when it comes to the next row, there is no value here. So if there is no value, it should come out. Okay. So that is the logic I'm going to use. So what I'll do is, here I will write do while active cell dot value. Now how will you specify not equal to? You put a symbol like this. That is a less than and the greater than symbol. That means it is a not equal to null value. And you specify a null value by typing 2 times the double quotes. So I'm telling here do while active cell dot value is not equal to blank. That means as long as there is a value in that particular cell, do the calculation. Okay. And here I will write just loop. Now suppose I selected the cell H15. Suppose the H15 cell is blank. Then it will not enter into the loop at all, because in the start itself the condition is not getting satisfied. Okay. Every cell have a value, only then it will run the loop. Now again I will run it step by step. If it is calculating for without any error, that means it should calculate for the 100 records also. So my cell is in, let us say G19. Now I'll run this F8. Now there is an error in this program. You need to tell me what is the error. Okay. We'll see that it is doing the calculations. Can anyone tell me what is the error here?
Results.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, it is not showing the results of all the below records.
Below records. Why?
I haven't said any show thing. But it is only going under looping conditions.
It is showing only for H15, right?
Yes, yes.
Huh. But if I want to do the calculation for 49,000, I should be moving the cell from H15 to H16. Since we are not giving the statement for moving it, it is not doing the other calculations. So I need to come one row down. So I'll say active cell dot offset and 1,0 dot select, so that it will move from H15 to H16. Okay. I'll run it once again. F8. You can see that it is doing the calculations and there is no error. So I can directly run the program. Now when it came to this cell 115, there is no value there. Okay. So it has come out of the loop. Now the advantage here in doing a calculation using macros is that if you go to the values where HRAT and the gross are being calculated, you will see only the values there. It is like you have done the calculation using formulas and you have pasted it as values. So even if you send this file to someone else, he will not come to know how the calculations has been done. It will show only values there. Okay. So I'll copy and paste this. So this is one method. Can anyone tell me what will be the disadvantage of this particular method? Now we are assuming here that the values in the entire salary column will be will not be a blank. That means H15 to H114 values will be there. But suppose in between some of the values are blank, then this program will continue only up to the non-blank cells, that is up to the row 30. As soon as it comes to row 31, it is going to stop because there is no value here. Okay. So here the assumption is that the entire salary column till that 100th cell has a value. This is one method. Now I'll show you the other method. I'll just copy and paste it in the name. So this is subcalc method 2. Now I know that there are 100 employees here. So I will reuse for I equals 1 to 100. All other statements are going to remain same. Only instead of loop, when I have a for, I should have next. Next I. Okay. Other things should work fine. Next I. Okay. Let us try it. If there is any error, I'll remove these values first. F8. It has gone to H15. You can see it is doing the calculations. Now what we'll do is I'll put some values. I will make some cells blank. It is so blank. Again 35 blank. It should continue even if there is a F8. At the 24th row, but this will continue up to the end, up to 100 of course. Both the okay, the first one is already copied. Run it and see. Working fine, everyone?
It's working.
Huh. Now, I want you to convert this into for each cell in selection. Copy and paste it. Method 3. This should be calc method 3. So ensure using for I equal to 1 to 100 or do while. I want you to make changes here in the method 3 so that it will use for each cell in selection. Now, when you use for each cell in selection, you know that you need to select the range first. Okay. So one method is I can, before I run the macro, I can manually select the entire salary range and then run the macro. But I don't want to select it manually. The program should select the range manually. That means if I select H15, okay, if I select H15, the program should automatically select the range like this. Like we are pressing Control Shift down arrow. The program should automatically select it. So first I'll show you how the range can be hard coded. Then I'll show you how it can be made dynamic. So for hard coding the range, we need a starting cell number and the ending cell number. So starting cell number is H15. Ending cell number is, in my case, H114. Okay. So here I will write range H15 to H114 dot select. So this is going to select the entire range. Then I say for each cell in selection. Now cell is a variable here. So what will be the first cell? The value in H15. Cell will be H16, H17, H18 up to H114. Now since we are calling cell as cell, don't need this. So instead of active cell, it will be just cell. Or if it is confusing, I will write it as salary cell. Okay. So for each salary cell in selection, since we are calling the cell as salary cell, this will be each active cell will be salary cell. Okay. Whatever variable name you are giving, that should replace this active cell. And here, instead of active cell dot offset 1,0, it will be salary cell. And instead of next I, it will be next salary cell. Now let us run this. Again, I will calculate for the first 2-3 records. If it is calculating without any error, that means the program is correct. F8. I'll see that it has selected the entire range H15, and if I scroll down, you see that it has selected up to H114. Okay. So the entire 100 cells are selected. Then F8, it has calculated the HRA, TA, gross, you can see that it is doing the calculations. Now I can directly run it. There is a third method. So this do while for I equal to 1 to some value for each cell in selection, this can be interchangeably used. It depends on your convenience. Okay. Because all are looping statements. Now in this case, even in the earlier cases, tomorrow I have 100 records. Tomorrow suppose the number of records increases to say 150 or 200. Then if I'm using for I equal to 1 to 100, I need to change the value here. I need to make it either 150 or 200. Likewise, here also I need to change the range. Right. So if it now goes to say H150, I need to change the range here. But I don't want to change the range. I want the macro to automatically select the range. Even if the range increases or decreases, it should automatically select the range. Now, when I want to select a range, how will I select a range? Using the keyboard, I keep my cell on H15, then you press Control Shift down arrow. So when you press Control Shift down arrow, it will automatically go to the end of that particular database. Okay. So the same concept I can use in the program also. Instead of hard coding the range, I will use the program to select or mimic the action of Control Shift down arrow. Let us see how that can be done. So first I need to select the starting cell. So I will write H15, that is H15 dot select. Okay. Then I'll write range. H15 is the active cell. So I'll say from active cell to active cell dot end Excel down. Dot end Excel down. Select. Now what this particular statement will do is, it will do the action of Control Shift down arrow. So tomorrow, no matter how much rows increase or decrease, this is going to select the actual range. Fine. We'll also try this out. All of the statements are going to remain same. So this is for dynamic range. Okay. I'll again first run it step by step. Now what I'll do is, I will increase the row numbers. I'll copy some data from here, Control C, and paste it. So now I have values which is going up to 144. Okay. So now fine. you should automatically calculate the HRATA gross up to 144. I'll directly run it. So you can see that it has come up to 144 automatically. I'll copy and paste this also. This is for dynamic range. Okay. So today we have seen we started with UDF. Then we saw some basic selection statements, range selection statements. We wrote a program called as data entry. Then condition statements. Then finally we saw what are loops. So our next session will be on 17th. On 17th, range selection statements. You also have statements to select a sheet, to select a sheet, add a sheet, delete a sheet, rename a sheet. Okay? So this will come under sheet selection statements. This up using macros. Then data consolidation. If you want to consolidate data from multiple sheets and put it in a single sheet, how that can be done. Then handling. Suppose a program is giving error, how to take care of that. Cross application. Hello.
Yes, Amar.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I thought I just got disconnected. Yeah.
No.
So, So yeah, cross application macros is, suppose I want to send a mail through Outlook from Excel. That comes under cross application program. Or you want to do your presentation, you want to create a presentation in PowerPoint from Excel. Then these are called as cross application program. Then on day 4, we'll see what are user forms, then add-ins, and finally we'll have a assignment also. Okay. So any doubts, any difficulties in the topic that we have covered?
But actually,
doubts?
we need to we will have some kind of a doubt. Currently, all the programs which you have shown to us were working very well. But while doing practice on our own work,
Right.
it is going to give us some kind of trouble. During that time, I think from next for next session, we will have some kind of doubts.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is, you must be having some tasks in your daily work which you want to automate. So start with a small task, try to automate it, or you do the same program that you have learned today without, taking the help of the recording or anything else, other notes, and try to do it on your own. At that time, you are going to get an error. And for solving the error, you then look at the video recording. And even if that is not getting solved, you note it on a you write it on a notepad, and then next time you can ask me what was the doubt or what was the query or.
Actually, yeah. So actually, there are some use case, L case, and like application work statement something. Mainly that use case L case. For that, you use a VBA programming word something. You just called it use case. Use case means.
Use case is a Visual Basic function.
So
that's the uppercase.
How do we find totally how many number of Visual Basic functions is there?
Okay, Visual Basic functions. So what I'll do is see
the VB functions.
There are many VB functions. Okay. Now it is not possible to remember all the Visual Basic functions. So what I'll do is I have a ready reckoner which lists all the functions and the statements that can be used in Visual Basic. Okay. So I will mail it to Excel4all, and then they can share it with all of you. So that has all the Visual Basic functions that can be used in your Visual Basic, along with what that particular function does. Okay, I will do that. I'll send it across.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else? Any other difficulty? Any query?
Possible in the week time and contact you if we'll be practicing anything like that.
No. There was
we'll plan it. We'll collect it, and on Sunday we'll discuss.
Next Sunday there should be no problems because today in the early morning itself the power went away. There was some maintenance work, and I had called them and they told me that it should come by 12. That is why we are rescheduling. But next Sunday probably we'll be sticking to the same time, 10 to 2. Or if you are finding this particular timing convenient, we can also shift to this timing. That is not an issue.
We'll stick to 10 to 2.
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
Morning is better. Yeah.
Pardon?
Morning timing is better actually.
Fine. Maximum we'll stick for that. Okay. So can we end the session then?
Sure.
Yes, sure.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.